Hi, and welcome to this Solidworks tutorial. In this video, we're going to be going over degenerated surfaces, what they are, why they happen, and what to do about them. Alright, before we talk about degenerated surfaces, we need to understand some definitions, some simple 6th grade geometry definitions. For instance, what's the definition of a circle? A circle is simply an infinite amount of points equidistant from a single point. If we zoom out, we can see we have our circle shape here. Now, what's the definition of a line and a plane? Here, if we roll back, we see we have a single point at the origin of our sketch. If we pattern that point in a single direction, we'll get a line. And if we pattern that again in another direction, we'll get our plane. And we can see that parallels or matches our right plane quite nicely. It's important to think about these geometric shapes in this fashion because that's the way SolidWorks understands these. And it affects the way it does its calculations to form its geometry. There's a wonderful book out called Mastering SolidWorks, and in it, it lists the formulas used. Now, let's talk about the definition of a degenerated surface. Degenerated surface is one whose entities, lengths, area, or volume degenerate or decline to zero because of the coincidence of one or more vertices. Now, if that sounds like another language to you right now, don't worry, it's all going to make sense in a second. Okay, here I have a sketch that I use to make a surface. Simple rectangular sketch that I surfaced. From there, I use the surface trim feature to trim it down to a triangle, and then I applied a flex feature to give it a bend. Now, if I try to use a freeform feature on this surface, I have no problems. You can see I have all the tabs open, and I have the mesh showing lines that are parallel to one another, and they all extend out and are just trimmed along the edges I had trimmed. When I go to thicken this or play around with it, it's going to work just great. It's not going to give me any problems, unlike other surfaces. You can see it thickened just fine. Now, why is this different than anything else? Here I have a similar sketch. I use the same rectangle to achieve that surface, and then I applied a flex feature to pinch that left side down to a single point. And I also applied the same bend to that triangle. Now, when I go to freeform this feature and I click on it, I get an error. Freeform feature cannot use this face. It contains a degenerated point. See the converging lines in the mesh? Try using a filled surface feature to recreate the face. You can see in this sketch, in this surface, it's the same basic geometric shape, but it's thought of differently in SolidWorks. You can see the mesh now converges down to a single point, and if we remember our definition of a degenerated surface, we have all those lines that converge into basically zero because it's a single point. So how do we get around that? We basically do exactly what SolidWorks had asked. We use a filled surface feature, and that'll help get away from that. Now, generally we don't create these triangles just like that. Generally we are working with other surfaces and trying to get them to match up and fill certain areas. It's best to use a filled surface feature whenever you're trying to fill an area that has 3 sides or 5-sided, has an odd number of sides to its boundary. And if you have an even number, a boundary surface works great. And you might still be able to achieve some of the 3-sided areas with a boundary surface, but when you go to thicken, you're going to run into issues. And I'll try to post another link of a video that illustrates that a little bit better. You might also be able to achieve the same results using a loft, but again, you're going to run into issues down the road when you try to thicken. And that's the main goal of when working with surfaces. We want to get a actual part out of this. So we're going to want to thicken, we're going to want to give it some volume. Thank you for watching this video tutorial. I hope it shed some light on degenerated surfaces and what to do about them. rate, comment, message me. Please rate and comment. If you have any questions or comments, please message me. And if you want to see more short videos like this, or if you'd rather see me CAD apart live, or simply CAD apart and then use the rollback feature to kind of show you how I did, that's another thing I've been thinking about trying. Please message me and tell me what you want CADed, or what sort of videos you want. A lot of people have been commenting and saying they want some surface videos, so I'm going to try to do some of those, but let me know. Alright, thank you.